The most profound journey we can undertake is not one that involves traversing physical landscapes, but rather the journey within, the inner exploration of our own consciousness. This journey transcends the limitations of the external world, for it is in the depths of our inner self that the true treasures of life are found. The world outside, with all its noise and distractions, often pulls us away from this essential path. We get caught up in the pursuit of external goals, validation from others, and material success, believing these things will fulfill us. But in reality, they are fleeting and shallow compared to the infinite richness that lies within. Walking the inner path requires a deliberate shift in focus. It is a choice to turn inward and explore the landscape of our thoughts, emotions, and desires. The external world presents us with endless distractions, social expectations, judgments from others, the constant need for approval, but these things are mere reflections of a deeper reality. Our inner world is the true source of power, creativity, and wisdom. It is here that we can uncover the truth of who we are, beyond the roles we play and the identities we have adopted in society. This inner journey is not always easy. It requires courage to face the parts of ourselves we may have ignored or suppressed. But in this confrontation lies great potential for transformation. As we walk inward, we begin to recognize the limiting beliefs that have held us back, the fears that have kept us small, and the desires that have remained unfulfilled. The more we explore, the more we realize that we hold the power to change these aspects of ourselves. We are not victims of our circumstances, we are the creators of our reality. The power of imagination becomes a key tool. Imagination is not a mere escape from reality, it is the faculty through which we shape it. When we walk the inner path, we begin to use our imagination consciously, envisioning the life we desire, and aligning our thoughts and feelings with that vision. This is the true act of creation. The outer world responds to the inner reality we project, and as we change within, the world around us transforms. The mind is freed from the distractions of the outer world, allowing imagination to flourish. It is in these moments of quiet and introspection that the power of imagination becomes most evident. Without the noise of external opinions or the pressure to conform to societal expectations, the mind is free to explore possibilities that often remain hidden in the busy flow of everyday life. Solitude creates the ideal environment for the imagination to roam unbounded, where it can conceive of new ideas, visualize future realities, and connect us to the deeper parts of our being. Imagination is more than just a mental exercise or a form of escapism. It is the very tool through which we create our reality. Everything we experience in the physical world first originates in the realm of imagination. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are constantly using our imagination to form ideas, interpret our experiences, and set the course for what we will encounter next. In solitude, this creative power is amplified as the absence of external distractions allows us to focus entirely on the inner world. Here, imagination becomes a force of creation, shaping the future that awaits us. The mind gains the clarity to visualize with greater depth and precision. We begin to see beyond the limitations that society or our own experiences may have imposed on us. This is where true transformation happens, when we can imagine ourselves and our lives in ways that defy current circumstances. The imagination, when nurtured in the quiet of solitude, knows no bounds. It is not tethered to what has been, but is open to what could be. It holds the blueprint for a life we have not yet lived, for a reality we have not yet experienced. This power of imagination is particularly important because the images we hold in our minds shape the outcomes we experience in life. As we imagine, so we create. If we constantly dwell on limitations, fears, or past failures, we unknowingly recreate those experiences in our reality. But when we use solitude to consciously shape our imagination, focusing on the life we truly desire, we begin to shift the energy we bring into the world. The more vivid and consistent our imaginative efforts, the more likely they are to manifest in physical form. This is the essence of creative power, using the inner vision to bring forth outer reality. Solitude allows us to dive deep into this process without interference. In these quiet moments, the mind is free to dream, to expand, to entertain possibilities that may seem improbable in the rush of daily life. It is in solitude that our greatest ideas often emerge, ideas that can change not only our personal circumstances but also the world around us. History is filled with examples of individuals who, in moments of isolation, use their imagination to conceive revolutionary concepts, create masterpieces, or envision futures that seemed unattainable to others. When we consciously embrace the power of imagination in solitude, we take control of our lives in a profound way. We begin to see that we are not victims of circumstance but creators of experience. The solitude provides the space to reconnect with our deepest desires and envision new paths forward, empowering us to manifest a reality that aligns with our highest aspirations. This practice of imaginative creation, nurtured in quiet moments alone, holds the key to transforming not just our individual lives, but the world at large. Solitude is not a retreat from life, but an opportunity to engage with it more fully. It offers the stillness needed for our imagination to awaken and begin the process of creation, unimpeded by the outside world. The power of imagination, when cultivated in these moments, becomes a beacon guiding us toward the life we wish to create. Reliance is more than just the ability to depend on oneself. It is a profound form of spiritual strength. When we cultivate self-reliance, we are developing an inner foundation that is independent of the external world. We stop seeking validation, approval, or support from others and instead turn inward, recognizing that the source of all we need, strength, wisdom, guidance, resides within us. This is the essence of spiritual self-reliance, knowing that we are connected to a higher power within, one that empowers us to navigate life with confidence, regardless of external circumstances. The path to self-reliance often begins with the realization that the outer world is unpredictable and unreliable. So relationships, jobs, material possessions, and even the opinions of others are subject to change. And if we base our sense of worth or security on these external factors, we will find ourselves in a constant state of instability. True strength comes from cultivating a reliance on the self, the deeper self, that is connected to something far greater than the temporary conditions of the world. When we develop this inner reliance, we tap into an infinite source of energy and resilience. Spiritual self-reliance means trusting in our own inner voice, our intuition, and our ability to shape our reality. Often society encourages dependence on external authorities, whether it be institutions, experts, or even loved ones. While guidance from others can be helpful, relying too heavily on external sources can weaken our connection to the higher self. In contrast, self-reliance encourages us to trust our inner guidance, to listen to the quiet voice within that knows the path we should take. This requires a level of faith in ourselves, in our inner wisdom, and in the universal intelligence that flows through us. This inner strength also manifests as self-confidence. When we are self-reliant, we are not easily swayed by the opinions or judgments of others. We no longer feel the need to conform or seek approval, because we know that our worth is not determined by outside forces. We become immune to the fluctuations of praise or criticism, rooted instead in a deep sense of self-assurance. This is not arrogance, but a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing who we are and what we are capable of. We recognize that the power to create our life lies within us, and we do not need anyone else's permission to pursue our dreams or live authentically. Self-reliance also involves taking responsibility for our own lives. Rather than blaming circumstances, other people, or fate for our situations, we recognize that we are the creators of our experiences. This is a powerful realization, for it places the control back in our hands. We no longer see ourselves as victims of life, but as active participants, capable of shaping our reality through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This mindset of responsibility is a cornerstone of spiritual strength, as it empowers us to make changes where needed and trust in our ability to overcome challenges. Self-reliance becomes a form of spiritual liberation. We free ourselves from the need for external validation, the pressure to conform, and the fear of failure. Instead, we rely on the deep inner, knowing that we are connected to a higher power that guides and supports us. This connection to the divine within gives us the strength to stand alone if necessary, to walk our own path, and to trust that we have everything we need to succeed. Ultimately, self-reliance is the realization that we are never truly alone, for we are always supported by the infinite power within us. The art of mental focus is one of the most valuable skills we can cultivate, as it holds the key to shaping both our inner and outer realities. In a world filled with distractions, the ability to concentrate our mental energy on a single point is rare. Yet it is precisely this ability that allows us to create and manifest the life we desire. Mental focus is not just about concentration in the traditional sense. It is a deliberate, conscious act of directing the mind toward a specific goal or thought with intention and clarity. This practice, when mastered, becomes the foundation for personal transformation. At its core, mental focus begins with the understanding that thoughts are powerful creative forces. Every thought we hold in our mind contributes to the reality we experience. Whether we are aware of it or not, our lives are shaped by the dominant thoughts that occupy our consciousness. This is why the art of focusing our mind is so critical. It allows us to deliberately choose the thoughts that will create the outcomes we desire, rather than letting random or negative thoughts dictate our future. Mental focus requires discipline, for the mind is naturally inclined to wander. Left unchecked, it flits from one thought to the next, often latching onto worries, doubts, or distractions. The ability to harness and control this wandering mind is what sets apart those who achieve their goals from those who do not. Focusing the mind is like training a muscle. The more we practice, the stronger it becomes. Each time we consciously bring our attention back to a chosen thought or goal, we are building our mental strength. Another aspect of mental focus is the practice of presence. In today's fast-paced world, many of us find it difficult to be fully present in the moment. We are often distracted by past regrets or future worries. However, the art of focus requires us to bring our attention to the here and now. The present moment is the only place where we have real power. It is where our thoughts have the most energy and where we can actively create change. By cultivating presence and focusing on the current task, goal, or desire, we channel all of our mental energy into one point, magnifying its power. Mastering the art of mental focus is about becoming the conscious director of our thoughts, rather than letting the mind be influenced by external distractions or inner fears. It requires intention, discipline, and practice. But with time, this skill transforms our ability to create the life we desire. When we learn to direct our mental energy toward a single purpose, we harness a creative force that can manifest profound change, allowing us to live in alignment with our highest aspirations.
Detachment from external opinions is one of the most liberating practices one can cultivate. It involves releasing the need for approval, validation, or recognition from others and turning inward for a sense of self-worth and guidance. While social acceptance has been ingrained in us from an early age, allowing external opinions to shape our identity often leads to a life that is not truly our own. True freedom comes when we can stand firmly in our truth, unaffected by the judgments, praise, or criticism of others. This detachment from external opinions is not an act of indifference, but a profound act of self-reliance and personal power. To understand the importance of detachment, we must first recognize that everyone views the world through their own unique lens. People's opinions are shaped by their experiences, biases, and beliefs, which may have little to do with the reality of who we are or what we are capable of. If we base our self-worth on these shifting and subjective perspectives, we will forever be in a state of uncertainty, as external validation is fleeting and inconsistent. Detachment allows us to step away from this instability and root our sense of self in something far more enduring, our inner knowing and personal truth. When we seek approval from others, we give away our power. We begin to mold ourselves to fit into other people's expectations, often at the expense of our own authenticity. This leads to a life that is out of alignment with our true desires, passions, and purpose. Detachment, on the other hand, returns that power to us. It allows us to live authentically, without fear of rejection or judgment. We are no longer swayed by the opinions of others because we understand that their views do not define us. Instead, we rely on our own inner compass to guide us, trusting that we know what is best for ourselves. This detachment does not mean we reject all feedback or isolate ourselves from others. There is value in constructive criticism, and we can learn from the perspectives of those we trust. However, the difference lies in how we process this input. When we are detached, we can listen to feedback with an open mind, evaluate its relevance, and then choose whether or not to incorporate it into our lives. We are not driven by the need to conform or gain approval, but by a desire for growth and self-improvement that aligns with our values and goals. Detachment from external opinions also leads to a greater sense of inner peace. When we stop worrying about how others perceive us, we free ourselves from the anxiety and stress that comes with constant self-monitoring. We no longer expend energy trying to control or manage other people's perceptions. Instead, we focus that energy on living in alignment with our own truth, which brings a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. This inner peace becomes a source of strength, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with calmness and clarity. Detachment from external opinions strengthens our relationships. When we are no longer seeking validation from others, we can engage with people from a place of authenticity. We are not trying to impress or win approval, we are simply showing up as our true selves. This creates deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than a transactional exchange of approval-seeking behavior. Detachment from external opinions is about reclaiming our personal power and recognizing that we are the authors of our own lives. When we detach from the judgments and expectations of others, we gain the freedom to pursue our own path, live according to our values, and express our true selves without fear. It is a profound act of self-respect and spiritual maturity, allowing us to live with integrity and confidence, knowing that our worth comes from within. Oneness with the higher self is a profound realization that we are not separate from the divine essence within us. The higher self represents the part of our consciousness that is connected to the infinite, to the source of all creation, wisdom, and love. This deeper aspect of who we are transcends the ego and the limited perceptions we often have of ourselves. It is the eternal, unchanging truth of our being, and connecting with it brings a sense of peace, purpose, and clarity that is unattainable through the external world. To experience oneness with the higher self is to recognize that we are not merely physical beings bound by time and space, but spiritual beings having a human experience. This understanding shifts our perspective on life, allowing us to see beyond the superficial roles we play and the identities we've constructed. We begin to understand that the higher self is the true source of our power, creativity, and inner wisdom. It is always guiding us, even when we may feel lost or disconnected from it. The challenge lies in quieting the mind and ego enough to hear its voice and trust in its guidance. The journey to oneness with the higher self often begins with self-reflection and introspection. As we turn inward, we start to recognize the difference between the ego's desires driven by fear, insecurity, and external validation and the higher self's guidance, which is rooted in love, peace, and an unshakable knowing of our worth. The ego seeks approval, status, and control, while the higher self encourages us to align with our true purpose, to express our authentic selves, and to act from a place of compassion and integrity. The more we attune ourselves to the higher self, the more we are able to distinguish between these two forces within us. One of the key aspects of oneness with the higher self is the realization that we are never truly alone. In moments of solitude or challenge, when the ego might feel isolated or overwhelmed, the higher self remains present, offering a constant source of support and guidance. When we are aligned with the higher self, we no longer need to look outside of ourselves for direction or answers. We understand that all we seek, the clarity, the peace, the strength exists within us. The higher self is a reflection of the divine, and in embracing this connection, we come to understand that we are part of something far greater than our individual experiences. Achieving oneness with the higher self requires a practice of mindfulness and surrender. It means letting go of the need to control every aspect of life and trusting that the higher self is always leading us toward our highest good, even when the path ahead seems unclear. This trust allows us to release fear and doubt, knowing that we are always supported by a deeper intelligence that sees beyond our limited perspective. It is through surrendering the ego's need for control that we allow the higher self to take the lead, guiding us toward greater fulfillment and spiritual growth. Oneness with the higher self brings a sense of interconnectedness with all of life. As we realize our divine nature, we begin to see that same essence in others. This understanding fosters compassion, empathy, and a deeper sense of unity with the world around us. We no longer view ourselves as separate from others, but as part of a collective whole, all interconnected through the same universal energy. The experience of oneness with the higher self is the ultimate realization of our true nature. It is the understanding that we are not limited by the physical world or the ego's constraints, but are eternal beings connected to the infinite. This oneness brings a sense of purpose, peace, and fulfillment as we live in alignment with our true nature and the divine flow of life. It is through this connection with the higher self that we find true freedom and the ability to navigate life with grace and wisdom. In conclusion, the journey of self-discovery and empowerment is a deeply personal one that requires us to turn inward, focusing on our inner strength, imagination, and connection with the higher self. By cultivating mental focus, detachment from external opinions, and self-reliance, we unlock our true potential and learn to navigate life from a place of spiritual alignment. The power to create our reality lies within us, and by embracing oneness with our higher self, we step into a state of peace, clarity, and purpose. Thank you for being part of this transformative journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in each of our lives when we begin to sense that the life we seek, the dreams we long for, are within reach. Yet the path is often subtle, marked by signs that, if ignored, might be easily missed. Today we explore 10 of these signs, signs that you're not just dreaming about success, you are walking the path toward it. Imagination is often dismissed as mere fantasy or daydreaming, yet it is the most potent tool we possess for creating our reality. At its core, imagination allows us to envision possibilities beyond our current circumstances, transcending the limitations of the physical world. Every great achievement, every innovation, and every transformation begins in the realm of imagination. It serves as the fertile ground where the seeds of our desires are planted, nurtured, and eventually brought to life. When we understand imagination as the seed of reality, we recognize that it is not simply about visualizing an outcome, it is about engaging with that outcome on an emotional and vibrational level. The images we create in our minds carry energy, and that energy sets in motion the forces that shape our experiences. It is through imagination that we first encounter the person we aspire to become, the life we wish to live, and the achievements we seek to accomplish. Our ability to imagine is directly correlated to our ability to manifest. When we fail to visualize our desires, we diminish our capacity to bring them to fruition. The process of imagination requires intention. It is essential to approach this practice with a clear sense of purpose and a deep belief in the possibilities that lie ahead. When we imagine, we must immerse ourselves fully in the experience, allowing ourselves to feel the emotions associated with our envisioned outcomes. This emotional resonance is crucial. It acts as a magnet, drawing our aspirations closer to reality. If we can feel the joy of achieving a goal or the satisfaction of overcoming a challenge, we align ourselves with the frequency of that reality, setting the stage for its manifestation. Furthermore, imagination does not exist in a vacuum. It interacts with the world around us, influencing our perceptions and decisions. The more vividly we imagine our goals, the more likely we are to notice opportunities and connections that align with our visions. This is not mere coincidence, it is a fundamental principle of how our consciousness shapes our reality. By nurturing our imagination, we expand our awareness and become receptive to the myriad of possibilities that surround us. This process is often obstructed by doubt and fear. Many individuals dismiss their imaginative visions as unrealistic or impractical, stifling their creative potential. This inner critic can become a formidable barrier, preventing us from tapping into our imagination's full power. To overcome this, we must cultivate a mindset of openness and curiosity, allowing ourselves the freedom to explore our dreams without judgment. The more we embrace our imaginative capabilities, the more we fortify our belief in our ability to create the life we desire. Also serves as a guiding compass. In times of uncertainty or adversity, it is our capacity to envision a brighter future that propels us forward. It reminds us of our purpose and the possibilities that lie ahead. When faced with challenges, we can turn to our imagination to visualize overcoming obstacles, which instills hope and motivates us to take the necessary steps toward our goals. Imagination is not just a whimsical escape, it is a vital aspect of our creative process and a powerful catalyst for change. It empowers us to break free from limitations, challenge the status quo, and explore the full range of our potential. By recognizing imagination as the seed of reality, we unlock the doors to possibility, harnessing its power to transform our lives and manifest our deepest desires. Embrace the gift of imagination, for within it lies the blueprint of your future, a future waiting to be realized through the power of your own creative vision. In the end is a transformative concept that invites individuals to adopt a mindset of fulfillment and success before those outcomes manifest in the physical world. This approach encourages us to envision our desired realities not as distant dreams, but as present experiences. By embodying this perspective, we align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with the state of being we wish to achieve. It is an invitation to experience life from the viewpoint of our goals already accomplished, allowing us to tap into the creative power inherent in our consciousness. Living in the end requires us to detach from the physical evidence of our circumstances. Often we find ourselves defined by our current situations, allowing external realities to dictate our feelings and thoughts. This leads to a cycle of limitation and frustration, as we wait for the outside world to change before we feel fulfilled. However, by consciously choosing to imagine our desires as already fulfilled, we disrupt this cycle. We shift our focus from the obstacles and challenges that may currently surround us to the abundant possibilities that lie ahead. To truly live in the end, we must immerse ourselves in the emotional landscape of our desired reality. This means not only visualizing the outcome, but also engaging with the feelings associated with achieving it. Imagine the joy of a long-sought promotion, the peace of financial freedom, or the love of a fulfilling relationship. When we embrace these feelings, we create an energetic resonance that aligns us with the frequency of our desires. This emotional connection acts as a catalyst, drawing those experiences closer to us. Living in the end empowers us to become active participants in our own lives. Instead of passively waiting for circumstances to change, we take ownership of our thoughts and feelings. This requires discipline and practice, as it is easy to fall back into patterns of doubt and worry. However, each time we consciously choose to align with our desired outcomes, we strengthen our belief in their inevitability. This belief becomes a powerful force, reshaping our reality according to the visions we hold. Another significant aspect of living in the end is the recognition of the interconnectedness of our experiences. When we embody the feelings of success, joy, and fulfillment, we not only change our internal landscape, but also influence the external world around us. Our thoughts and emotions emit vibrations that impact our interactions with others and the opportunities we attract. By maintaining a consistent state of being aligned with our desires, we become magnets for the people, situations, and circumstances that reflect our envisioned outcomes. In the end also involves cultivating gratitude for what we have and what we are about to receive. This practice shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance. By expressing gratitude for our current blessings, we create a positive feedback loop that amplifies our feelings of fulfillment. This attitude of appreciation reinforces our belief that we are worthy of our desires and encourages the universe to respond in kind. Living in the end is not merely a mental exercise, it is a profound practice that transforms how we engage with life. By choosing to embody the feelings and thoughts of our desired realities, we reclaim our power as creators. This process involves discipline, emotional alignment, and a willingness to embrace the fullness of our potential. As we cultivate this mindset, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities, allowing the magic of manifestation to unfold in our lives. Ultimately, living in the end serves as a reminder that our thoughts shape our reality, and by living in alignment with our dreams, we can bring them to life. Persistence of faith is an essential quality that underpins the journey toward achieving our goals and realizing our dreams. In a world often fraught with uncertainty and challenges, maintaining a steadfast belief in ourselves and our visions becomes crucial. This unwavering faith acts as a guiding force, propelling us forward even in the face of obstacles, doubts, and setbacks. When we embody persistence of faith, we cultivate a resilient mindset that empowers us to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and purpose. At its core, persistence of faith means trusting in the process and the eventual outcome, even when immediate results are not visible. It requires a deep-seated belief that our efforts will bear fruit, and that every step we take, no matter how small, contributes to the larger tapestry of our aspirations. This perspective is especially vital during times of struggle, when we may be tempted to succumb to despair or give up entirely. Instead of allowing discouragement to take root, we can lean into our faith, using it as a source of strength to propel us forward. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence of faith is its ability to shape our experiences. When we maintain a strong belief in our goals, we begin to align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with that belief. This alignment creates a resonance that attracts opportunities, resources, and people into our lives, further reinforcing our path to success. Conversely, doubt and negativity can create barriers that block our progress. When we believe in our potential, we not only see more possibilities, but also become more open to receiving them. Persistence of faith also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey. However, when we approach challenges with a mindset grounded in faith, we develop the ability to bounce back from adversity. Instead of viewing failures as definitive endpoints, we see them as stepping stones, essential experiences that provide valuable lessons and insights. Each setback becomes an opportunity to refine our approach and strengthen our resolve, reinforcing our commitment to our goals. Cultivating persistence of faith often requires patience. In a fast-paced world, we may expect immediate results and quick gratification. Yet, the path to success is rarely linear. It demands time, effort, and dedication. By embracing patience and trusting in the unfolding of our journeys, we develop a deeper connection to our aspirations. We learn to appreciate the process, finding value in each moment, regardless of its immediate outcome. Surrounding ourselves with supportive influences can also enhance our persistence of faith. Engaging with people who share our vision or who have experienced similar journeys can serve as a powerful reminder of what is possible. Their stories of resilience and triumph can reignite our belief in ourselves and our potential. Conversely, distancing ourselves from negativity and skepticism both internally and externally creates space for our faith to flourish. Persistence of faith is an act of self-empowerment. It invites us to step into our full potential, recognizing that we hold the power to shape our realities through our beliefs and actions. By committing to this unwavering faith, we become architects of our lives, capable of manifesting our deepest desires and aspirations. This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities and fears into fuel for growth. As we cultivate persistence of faith, we embark on a journey filled with possibility, where our dreams are not just distant visions but realities waiting to be realized. Through this lens, we can navigate the complexities of life with resilience, hope, and an unshakable belief in our own potential. Embracing setbacks as guides is a transformative perspective that allows individuals to navigate the challenges of life with resilience and purpose. Often viewed as failures or obstacles, setbacks can be powerful teachers if we shift our mindset and recognize the lessons they offer. This approach encourages us to see each challenge not as a roadblock, but as an integral part of our journey towards success. When we embrace setbacks, we open ourselves to growth, self-discovery, and the potential for future achievements. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any pursuit, whether in personal, professional, or creative endeavors. Life is inherently unpredictable, and while we may plan and prepare, unexpected challenges will arise. It is easy to become disheartened or frustrated when things don't go as anticipated. However, adopting the mindset of embracing setbacks can transform our relationship with adversity. Instead of succumbing to disappointment, we can view setbacks as opportunities to pause, reflect, and reassess our strategies. When faced with a setback, the first step is to acknowledge our emotions. It is natural to feel frustrated, angry, or sad when encountering obstacles. Allowing ourselves to experience these feelings is important. It is a crucial part of the healing and learning process. However, the key is not to become stuck in these emotions, but to use them as fuel for reflection. By taking a moment to step back, we can analyze the situation more objectively, identifying what went wrong and what we can learn from it. Setbacks often provide valuable insights that we might not have gained otherwise. They can reveal weaknesses in our plans, highlight areas for improvement, or clarify what we truly want. For example, a failed project may point out gaps in our skills or knowledge, prompting us to seek further education or mentorship. By embracing setbacks as guides, we become more adaptable and open to change. We learn to pivot when necessary, allowing our experiences to inform our future actions. Viewing setbacks as guides fosters resilience. Each time we encounter a challenge and emerge from it with newfound knowledge, we strengthen our ability to cope with future difficulties. Resilience is not just about enduring hardship, it is about bouncing back and using experiences to inform our growth. Embracing setbacks helps us build this resilience as we become increasingly comfortable with uncertainty and more confident in our ability to navigate challenges. Embracing setbacks encourages a growth mindset, a belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. When we perceive setbacks as opportunities for growth, we cultivate a more positive relationship with failure. This shift in perspective allows us to approach challenges with curiosity rather than fear, opening our minds to innovative solutions and new possibilities. Another crucial aspect of this mindset is the role of patience and persistence. Setbacks may require us to slow down and reconsider our approach, but they also remind us that success is rarely a linear journey. By embracing setbacks, we develop the patience to understand that progress often involves winding paths and detours. Persistence becomes our ally as we learn to navigate these challenges with tenacity, using each experience to refine our strategies and strengthen our resolve. Embracing setbacks as guides transforms how we perceive and respond to challenges. Rather than seeing obstacles as failures, we can recognize them as vital components of our personal and professional growth. By adopting this mindset, we learn to reflect on our experiences, cultivate resilience, and maintain a growth-oriented perspective. Each setback becomes an opportunity for learning and self-discovery, guiding us closer to our goals. Ultimately, this approach empowers us to navigate life's complexities with confidence and grace, understanding that every setback can lead to a greater understanding of ourselves and our paths forward. Emotional alignment is a powerful concept that emphasizes the importance of harmonizing our emotions with our desires and aspirations. It is the practice of ensuring that our feelings, thoughts, and actions are congruent with the outcomes we wish to manifest. When we achieve this alignment, we create a fertile environment for our dreams to flourish. In contrast, when our emotions are misaligned with our goals, we often find ourselves struggling, feeling stuck, or experiencing self-sabotage. Understanding and cultivating emotional alignment can significantly enhance our ability to create the life we desire. At the heart of emotional alignment is the recognition that our emotions are powerful indicators of our internal state. They serve as a barometer of whether we are in harmony with our desires. For example, if you aspire to achieve a particular goal, such as landing a new job, but often feel anxious or doubtful about your abilities, you are likely to experience a disconnect between your desires and your emotional state. And this misalignment can create obstacles, making it challenging to take the necessary steps toward your goal. Conversely, when you align your emotions with your aspirations, feeling confident, excited, and open to opportunities, you enhance your capacity to attract what you desire. To cultivate emotional alignment, the first step is to become aware of your emotions and how they relate to your goals. This self-awareness allows you to identify any negative feelings or limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Journaling can be a helpful practice in this regard. By writing down your thoughts and feelings, you can gain clarity about what you truly desire and where your emotions may be misaligned. This process of reflection encourages you to examine the underlying beliefs that inform your emotional responses. Once you have identified any misalignments, the next step is to consciously shift your emotional state. Techniques such as visualization, affirmations, and meditation can be invaluable tools in this process. For instance, when visualizing your desired outcome, immerse yourself in the feelings associated with achieving it. Imagine the joy, excitement, and fulfillment that come with realizing your goals. By consistently engaging with these positive emotions, you create a powerful vibrational frequency that attracts similar experiences into your life. Affirmations can also reinforce emotional alignment. By repeating positive statements that resonate with your aspirations, you can retrain your subconscious mind to adopt a more empowering narrative. For example, affirming statements like "I am capable of achieving my goals," or "I attract opportunities that align with my desires" can help shift your emotional landscape toward alignment with your objectives. Another essential aspect of emotional alignment is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude acts as a powerful amplifier of positive emotions, reinforcing a mindset of abundance and openness. When you cultivate gratitude for what you currently have, you create a positive emotional state that aligns with the frequency of your desires. This practice shifts your focus from what is lacking in your life to the abundance that already exists, creating a magnet for further opportunities. It is also crucial to recognize that emotional alignment is an ongoing practice. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it is natural to experience fluctuations in emotions. However, by cultivating tools and techniques to bring yourself back into alignment, you develop resilience and the ability to navigate challenges more effectively. This means consistently checking in with yourself, adjusting your emotional state as needed, and maintaining a commitment to your goals. Emotional alignment is about creating harmony between your inner world and your external aspirations. By fostering an emotional state that reflects your desires, you enhance your capacity to manifest your goals and create a fulfilling life. This practice empowers you to become an active participant in your journey, embracing the transformative power of emotions as a guiding force toward your aspirations. Through emotional alignment, you open the door to a life filled with possibility, joy, and meaningful connections, paving the way for the realization of your deepest desires. The power of assumption is a profound principle that emphasizes the impact of our beliefs and expectations on our reality. This concept suggests that what we assume to be true shapes our experiences and influences the outcomes we encounter in our lives. By consciously adopting empowering assumptions, we can manifest our desires and create the life we envision. This process involves a shift in mindset, where we recognize that our thoughts and beliefs are not just passive reflections of our reality, but active forces that shape it. At its core, the power of assumption is rooted in the understanding that our subconscious mind is highly receptive to the beliefs we hold. When we assume a particular state of being, such as success, happiness, or love, we send powerful signals to our subconscious, which then works to align our external reality with those assumptions. For instance, if you assume that you are worthy of success, your actions, decisions, and behaviors will naturally reflect that belief. This alignment creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, where your assumptions manifest in tangible outcomes. One of the key elements of harnessing the power of assumption is the practice of visualization. Visualization involves vividly imagining the reality you desire as if it has already been achieved. This technique engages your senses, allowing you to experience the feelings, sights, sounds, and emotions associated with your desired outcome. By consistently visualizing your assumptions, you reinforce them in your subconscious mind, making them feel more real and attainable. This process activates the creative power of your mind, attracting opportunities and resources that align with your assumptions. Affirmations also play a crucial role in leveraging the power of assumption. Affirmations are positive statements that reflect your desired reality. By repeating affirmations regularly, you condition your mind to embrace new beliefs that support your goals. For instance, if you aspire to cultivate confidence, you might affirm, "I am confident and capable in every situation over time." These affirmations shift your internal dialogue, fostering an environment where your assumptions can flourish. It is essential to recognize that the power of assumption is not about denial or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about acknowledging your current reality while choosing to assume a more empowering perspective. Life may present obstacles and difficulties, but how you interpret and respond to those challenges is what ultimately shapes your experience. By assuming a mindset of resilience and resourcefulness, you can navigate adversity with confidence and determination. Another important aspect of the power of assumption is the necessity of persistence. Changing deeply ingrained beliefs and assumptions takes time and effort. It requires a commitment to consistently reinforce your new assumptions, even in the face of contrary evidence. When doubts or fears arise, it is crucial to redirect your focus back to your empowering assumptions. This practice strengthens your resolve and reinforces the belief that you have the power to shape your reality. The power of assumption also highlights the interconnectedness of thoughts and emotions. When you assume a positive belief, you naturally cultivate emotions that resonate with that belief. For example, assuming that you are worthy of love and happiness may lead to feelings of joy, gratitude, and contentment. These positive emotions not only enhance your overall well-being, but also create a magnetic energy that attracts similar experiences into your life. The power of assumption serves as a reminder of the incredible potential within each of us to shape our realities through our beliefs and expectations. By consciously choosing empowering assumptions and nurturing them through visualization, affirmations, and persistence, we can transform our lives in profound ways. This principle invites us to become active participants in our own journeys, understanding that our thoughts and beliefs are not merely passive reflections of reality, but dynamic forces that can create the lives we desire. Embracing the power of assumption opens the door to a world of possibilities, enabling us to step into our full potential and manifest our dreams with confidence and purpose. In conclusion, the journey toward achieving our goals and realizing our dreams is deeply intertwined with the principles we've explored today: the power of imagination, living in the end, persistence of faith, embracing setbacks as guides, emotional alignment, and the transformative power of assumption. Each of these concepts serves as a building block, guiding us to cultivate a mindset that not only supports our aspirations but actively propels us toward them. By embracing these principles, we empower ourselves to take control of our narratives, transforming challenges into opportunities and setbacks into valuable lessons. We learn to visualize our desired outcomes, align our emotions with our goals, and assume the beliefs that serve us best. This holistic approach fosters resilience and adaptability, enabling us to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and grace. As we move forward, let us remember that the path to success is not a straight line, but a winding journey filled with growth and discovery. Each step we take, guided by these principles, brings us closer to realizing our full potential and manifesting our dreams. Thank you for your time and attention today. I encourage each of you to embrace these concepts in your own lives and witness the incredible transformations that can occur when you harness the power of your mind and spirit. Together, let us continue to dream, believe, and create a future filled with possibility. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, life is not a series of random occurrences. It is a carefully orchestrated symphony where each note plays in perfect harmony with the desires of your soul. Every experience you encounter, every opportunity that comes your way, every door that opens or closes is all in alignment with the divine blueprint written in your heart. And at the core of this orchestration is a simple, yet profound truth: always choose what chooses you. The world you perceive around you is not separate from you. It is a direct reflection of your inner consciousness, an echo of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Everything you experience in life is shaped by the state of your consciousness, for it is through consciousness that we create reality. What you choose to focus on, what you deeply believe, and how you feel within all determine the circumstances you encounter externally. This understanding forms the very foundation of how life unfolds, for nothing exists outside of the awareness that perceives it. At every moment, you are shaping the world through the energy of your thoughts. When you understand this, life becomes no longer a series of random events, but a reflection of the reality you have built within. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are always manifesting your experiences. The law of consciousness tells us that the outer world is a projection of the inner self. It is not enough to merely desire or wish for something externally if the inner state does not support it. True creation begins within, in the deep recesses of your mind and soul, where your beliefs about what is possible reside. Many people attempt to change their external circumstances without first altering their inner world. They may take action, work tirelessly, or push against the challenges they face, believing that through sheer effort they will reshape their lives. But without a shift in consciousness, such efforts often lead to frustration. This is because the outer world can only reflect back what is already established within. It is like trying to change the image in a mirror without first changing the object that is being reflected. To truly transform your life, you must first transform your consciousness. This means aligning your thoughts and beliefs with the reality you wish to experience. If you wish for abundance but hold deep-seated beliefs in lack, you will continue to experience scarcity, no matter how hard you try externally. If you desire love but believe you are unworthy of it, love will continue to elude you. It is not until you change the core beliefs within yourself that your outer world will begin to shift in accordance with those new beliefs. The key to mastering this law is self-awareness. You must become conscious of the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you cultivate. These are the seeds of your future experiences. When you become aware of the patterns in your consciousness, you gain the power to change them. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the creator of your reality. By deliberately choosing thoughts of abundance, love, and peace, and by nurturing beliefs that support the life you desire, you will begin to see those qualities reflected in your world. The more you align your consciousness with the things you want, the more effortlessly they will appear in your life. Your outer reality will always reflect the state of your inner being. To change the world around you, you must first change the world within. This is the essence of the law of consciousness. Desire is often misunderstood. Many people view it as something to be suppressed or overcome, thinking that to desire is to lack, to want is to be incomplete. But this view misses the true nature of desire. Desire, in its purest form, is divine guidance. It is the universe speaking to you through your inner longings, pointing you toward the path meant for you. When you feel a deep yearning for something, it is not a sign of emptiness, it is the voice of your higher self calling you toward your true potential. Desire is not arbitrary. The things you want most are not random or trivial, but meaningful clues that reflect your soul's purpose. They are invitations to grow, to evolve, and to experience life in alignment with who you truly are. Each genuine desire is a seed planted in your consciousness, waiting to be nurtured and brought to fruition. It is your higher self's way of guiding you toward the experiences, relationships, and opportunities that will lead you to your greatest fulfillment. There is a reason certain desires resonate with you on a deeper level than others. These desires are not just fleeting wishes or whims, they are sacred. They reflect the blueprint of your soul and are perfectly tailored to your unique path. When you feel drawn to something, that pull is the universe aligning with you, offering you a glimpse of what could be if you trust in the process. It is as though the universe is saying, "This is for you. Follow this feeling." It is important to recognize that desire is not merely about material gain or superficial success. True desire goes deeper, touching the core of your being and calling you to express the fullness of who you are. Whether your desire is for love, purpose, creativity, or abundance, it is all part of the same divine impulse. It is your soul seeking to experience itself fully, to manifest in the world as the unique expression of the divine that you are. When you honor your desires and move toward them with faith, you activate a powerful force of creation. You align yourself with the flow of life, and doors begin to open where there were once walls. The right people, opportunities, and resources are drawn to you, not by chance, but because you have chosen to follow the path that was always meant for you. Trust your desires, for they are the compass that will lead you to your highest potential. At its core, embracing receptivity is about releasing resistance. We often place unnecessary barriers between ourselves and what we want, whether through doubt, fear, or limiting beliefs. These mental blocks prevent the flow of what is naturally trying to come into our lives. When you hold on to ideas of unworthiness or scarcity, you push away the very things that are meant for you. By being receptive, you let go of the need to control every outcome and trust that life is unfolding in your favor. You recognize that your role is not to force, but to allow. This shift in perspective transforms how you interact with the world. Instead of chasing after things with a sense of lack or desperation, you begin to trust that what is meant for you will come to you effortlessly. This doesn't mean you stop taking action or working toward your goals, but it does mean that your efforts are no longer driven by fear. Instead, they come from a place of alignment and faith, knowing that the universe is already working on your behalf. You align with the understanding that everything you desire is already seeking you, and your only job is to be in a state of readiness to receive it. Receptivity also requires surrender. To receive fully, you must surrender the need to dictate how and when your desires will come to fruition. Often what we want arises in ways we could not have predicted or on a timeline that is different from what we envisioned. But this is not a sign of failure or delay. It is part of the divine orchestration of life. By surrendering control, you allow the universe to deliver in ways that may exceed your expectations. You make room for miracles and serendipities that are beyond your limited perception. Another key aspect of receptivity is gratitude. When you are grateful, you signal to the universe that you are open to more. Gratitude raises your vibration and aligns you with the frequency of abundance. It shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is already present, and in doing so, you attract more of what you want. Being receptive means not only being open to receiving new things, but also appreciating what you already have. This creates a cycle of giving and receiving that continues to elevate your life. Embracing receptivity also deepens your connection to your intuition. When you are open to receiving, you are more attuned to the subtle signals and opportunities that the universe sends your way. You become more aware of synchronicities and signs that guide you along your path. Your intuition becomes sharper because you are not clouded by resistance or doubt. In this state, you can make decisions from a place of clarity and alignment, knowing that what you need will come to you at the right time. To embrace receptivity is to live in harmony with the flow of life. It is the art of allowing, of trusting that what you seek is also seeking you. It is understanding that the universe is abundant and always ready to give, but only if you are open to receiving. By releasing resistance, surrendering control, and cultivating gratitude, you position yourself to receive all that is meant for you with grace and ease. The power of imagination lies in its ability to transcend the limitations of your current circumstances. No matter what you are facing in your external world, your imagination allows you to envision something greater. It frees you from the constraints of time, space, and logic, enabling you to tap into possibilities that seem impossible to the rational mind. Through imagination, you can inhabit a future that does not yet exist, but by doing so, you set the wheels of creation in motion. Your mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined, and this is the key to manifesting your desires. When you imagine something with feeling, you activate the creative force within you. This is not just daydreaming or idle fantasy, it is deliberate creation. The images and scenarios you conjure in your mind, especially when infused with strong emotion, begin to take form in the unseen realms of consciousness. Your thoughts and feelings are energy, and energy attracts like energy. When you repeatedly imagine yourself living in a state of abundance, love, or success, you send out a vibrational signal that draws those experiences toward you. In this way, imagination is a magnet, pulling into your life the people, circumstances, and opportunities that match the frequency of your inner vision. The true power of imagination is not just in seeing what you want, but in feeling it as real. The emotions you attach to your imagined scenarios are what bring them to life. If you can see yourself achieving a goal but feel doubt or fear, those negative emotions will hinder the creative process. But if you can vividly imagine your desire and feel the joy, peace, or excitement that would come with its fulfillment, you accelerate the manifestation process. This is why it is often said that what you believe and feel in your imagination becomes your reality. Imagination is also a powerful tool for transformation. When you imagine yourself as a new version of yourself, stronger, wiser, more confident, you begin to embody those qualities. Your self-image shifts, and as it does, your actions and behaviors follow suit. This inner transformation then reflects outward, changing the way the world responds to you. Your imagination is not limited to creating material outcomes. It can also reshape your identity, helping you evolve into the person you wish to become. It is important to remember that imagination works both ways. Just as you can use it to create positive outcomes, you can also unintentionally use it to reinforce negative ones. If you continually imagine worst-case scenarios or dwell on fears, you will attract those experiences into your life. This is why it is crucial to guard your imagination and use it consciously. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you creating what you want or what you fear? Imagination is your bridge to the divine. It is through imagination that you connect with the infinite potential of the universe. Everything that you could ever desire exists in some form within the field of infinite possibilities, and through the power of imagination, you can draw it into your reality. By aligning your imagination with your highest desires, and by feeling those desires as real, you engage in the sacred act of creation. You become the architect of your destiny, shaping your world not by chance, but by design. Is a quiet, subtle voice within you, often overshadowed by the noise of everyday life, logic, and external influences. Yet, it is one of the most powerful forms of guidance available. It is the inner compass that knows the path you are meant to take, even when the way forward is not clear to the rational mind. Intuition is a deep, knowing feeling, a sense that arises from a place beyond thought and analysis. It is not the result of deliberation or reason, but rather a direct connection to the wisdom of your higher self. The subtle whisper of intuition often appears in moments of stillness, when you are not preoccupied with trying to figure everything out. It can come as a gut feeling, a sudden insight, or a quiet nudge in a particular direction. Unlike the voice of fear or doubt, which tends to be loud and urgent, intuition speaks softly, encouraging you to listen without force. It is easy to overlook or dismiss, because it does not compete for your attention. Instead, it patiently waits for you to tune in and trust its guidance. It is not bound by the limitations of logic or the five senses. While the rational mind processes information based on what it sees, hears, or knows from past experience, intuition operates on a different level. It taps into the collective unconscious, the realm where all possibilities exist. This is why intuitive guidance often feels like it comes from nowhere. It is drawing from a source of wisdom that transcends the linear mind. Intuition sees the bigger picture and guides you toward decisions and actions that align with your highest good, even when you cannot fully understand the reasoning behind them. One of the key challenges in following your intuition is learning to distinguish it from the voice of fear or ego. Fear tends to be reactive, anxious, and based on self-preservation, while intuition is calm and centered, even in the face of uncertainty. Fear often urges you to avoid change or stay within your comfort zone, but intuition encourages growth and expansion. To recognize intuition, it is important to cultivate inner stillness and trust. When you are constantly bombarded by external opinions or overthinking, the voice of intuition can be drowned out. But when you quiet the mind and listen within, you create space for your intuitive guidance to emerge. Trust is essential to following your intuition. Often it will lead you down a path that doesn't make immediate sense or that challenges your logical expectations. You may not always have the full picture, but that is where faith comes in. Intuition works in steps, revealing only what is necessary for the next phase of your journey. When you follow its guidance, even without knowing the outcome, you find yourself moving in the direction of your highest potential. Each step builds your confidence in this inner knowing, and the more you trust it, the more it will guide you. Also speaks through synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to point you in a particular direction. You might meet the right person at the right time, or an unexpected opportunity might arise just when you need it. These moments are not random, they are the universe's way of affirming the path that your intuition has nudged you toward. Paying attention to these signs helps you strengthen your connection to your intuitive guidance. Intuition is a gift that is always available to you. It is the whisper of your soul, guiding you toward the path of least resistance and greatest fulfillment. When you learn to listen to it, to trust it, and to act on it, you align yourself with the flow of life. You begin to make choices that are in harmony with your true self, and as a result, your life unfolds with greater ease and grace. The subtle whisper of intuition is a profound source of wisdom, one that, when embraced, leads to clarity, purpose, and peace. In the unseen is the foundation of true creation and manifestation. It is the understanding that reality is not confined to what you can perceive with your physical senses. Beneath the surface of visible experience lies an infinite, invisible realm where all possibilities exist. To have faith in the unseen is to trust that the things you desire are already on their way to you, even if you cannot yet see or touch them. It requires believing in the process, even when there is no immediate evidence of progress. This type of faith is not about blind optimism, it is a deep knowing that the universe is always working on your behalf. At its core, faith in the unseen is about aligning with the truth that everything you want already exists in a non-physical form. When you set an intention, you are not creating something new out of thin air. Rather, you are aligning with a reality that already exists in potential. Your desires, goals, and dreams are all held in the invisible realm of possibilities, and through faith, you draw them into physical manifestation. This requires patience, persistence, and trust in the process, even when the results are not immediately apparent. One of the challenges of having faith in the unseen is that the physical world often demands immediate proof. We live in a culture that prioritizes tangible results and visible evidence, which can make it difficult to trust in something you cannot yet see. But true faith is about transcending this need for immediate validation. It is about holding on to your vision, even when circumstances seem to contradict it. This is where the power of belief comes in. What you believe about your reality shapes what you experience. If you can maintain faith in the unseen, you allow the universe to work behind the scenes, orchestrating the people, circumstances, and opportunities that will bring your desire into form. Faith in the unseen also involves letting go of control. It means trusting that there is a higher intelligence at work, guiding you toward what is best for your growth and fulfillment. Often we try to force outcomes or micromanage the details of how our desires will manifest. But this approach only creates resistance, blocking the natural flow of life. When you have faith in the unseen, you release the need to control every step of the journey. You allow the universe to surprise you with solutions and outcomes that may be beyond what you could have imagined. Another aspect of faith in the unseen is embracing the timing of the universe. What you desire may not come into your life exactly when you expect it, but that doesn't mean it's not on its way. Divine timing is often at play, ensuring that everything arrives at the perfect moment for your highest good. When you trust in this timing, you free yourself from the anxiety of needing things to happen on your schedule. You understand that delays are not denials, but part of the process of aligning you with the right circumstances for your desire to flourish. Faith in the unseen is about trusting the creative process of life. It is about knowing that your inner work, the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you cultivate, is just as important, if not more so, than any external effort. When you align your inner world with what you want, you set the stage for it to appear in your outer world. This is the essence of faith, believing that what you seek is already seeking you, even if you cannot yet perceive it. It is this unwavering belief that allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect order, even if the path is not always visible. Faith in the unseen is the key to unlocking the mysteries of creation, for it teaches you to trust in the infinite potential that exists beyond the surface of what you can see. In conclusion, life unfolds through the power of consciousness, desire, imagination, and faith. By embracing the subtle guidance of intuition, aligning with your desires, and trusting in the unseen, you become a conscious creator of your reality. The world around you is a reflection of your inner state, and through awareness and faith, you can shape your experiences. When you learn to surrender control, trust in divine timing, and open yourself to receive, life begins to flow with grace, and your highest aspirations come to fruition. Thank you. Thank you. My friends, there comes a moment in each of our lives when we must face a simple, yet profound truth: we are not in control of everything. No matter how much we strive, plan, or scheme, there is a force far greater, far wiser, at work in the universe. This force, this omnipotent power, is what I call God. Faith is more than just a belief in something unseen. It is the deepest form of trust. It goes beyond mere hope or wishful thinking. Faith is the absolute conviction that the universe is working in perfect harmony with your highest good, even when the evidence before you suggests otherwise. It is this trust that liberates you from the need to control or force outcomes, because you understand that a higher power, what we call God, has already orchestrated everything in divine timing and order. The nature of this trust is profound. It is rooted in the knowledge that God, the divine intelligence that governs all of existence, sees the bigger picture, one that our limited minds cannot fully grasp. When we release our attachments to how things should be and trust in God's plan, we open ourselves up to infinite possibilities. Faith is the recognition that what we desire, what we are seeking, has already been created in the unseen realm and is making its way into our physical reality. The timing and the manner in which it unfolds are not for us to control, but for us to trust. Faith is not passive. It is an active, dynamic force within us. It calls on us to live as though what we seek is already ours. When you have faith, you are no longer waiting for external signs or conditions to validate your desires. You no longer say, "I will believe it when I see it." Instead, you confidently affirm, "I know it is done, and I will see it when it is ready to manifest." This is the heart of faith, the belief that everything you need is already on its way, already fulfilled in the divine mind. This trust does not mean that you will never face difficulties or setbacks. Faith does not promise a life without obstacles, but it does promise that you will have the strength and wisdom to overcome them. When you place your trust in God, you are not denying the reality of life's challenges. Instead, you are affirming that no matter what happens, you are being supported and guided by an unfailing power. This power is always working for your good, even when the path ahead seems uncertain or unclear. Faith, then, is the ultimate act of trust. It is the knowing that you are never alone, never abandoned, and that everything is already being taken care of in ways that are beyond your comprehension. When you fully surrender to this trust, you free yourself from worry, fear, and doubt, and you step into the flow of divine grace, where all things are possible. This is the power of faith to transform your life by trusting in the unseen, by leaving everything in God's hands, and knowing that all is already well. Imagination is often seen as a mere tool for creativity or fantasy, but it is far more than that. It is the divine power within us, the very mechanism through which God creates reality. To understand this is to grasp the profound truth that our imagination is not separate from the creative force of the universe. In fact, it is the channel through which that force works. When we engage our imagination consciously, we align ourselves with the divine process of creation, shaping our world from the inside out. When you understand imagination as the divine power, you begin to realize that you are always creating, whether consciously or unconsciously. The images, thoughts, and feelings you dwell on in your mind shape the reality you experience. If your imagination is filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, your external world will reflect that. But when you fill your imagination with images of joy, abundance, and possibility, you invite those experiences into your life. In this way, your imagination is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between potential and manifestation. This understanding brings with it a great responsibility. To imagine consciously is to take an active role in the creation of your life. It is not enough to passively allow your mind to wander into negative or limiting territory. You must take control of your imagination, deliberately filling it with the things you wish to experience. This is how you co-create with God, by using your imagination as a tool to bring forth the reality you desire. The process begins with faith, for imagination works best when it is grounded in the belief that what you imagine is not only possible but inevitable. When you visualize something with conviction, when you see it as already done, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. This is the essence of divine creation, imagining the end result as though it has already been achieved, and then trusting that the path to its realization will unfold naturally. Your imagination is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It is infinite, limitless, and free. In the realm of imagination, anything is possible, and this is why it is such a powerful force. When you imagine something, you are not constrained by the present circumstances, by what appears to be true in the physical realm. You are tapping into a higher reality, one where all possibilities exist. The more vividly and consistently you imagine your desired outcome, the more you draw it into the physical world. This is the divine nature of imagination. It allows you to transcend the limitations of the present moment and create a new reality. It is through imagination that you can transform your life, regardless of the conditions you find yourself in. Even if the external world seems fixed or unchangeable, your imagination remains free and unlimited, capable of shaping any circumstance into what you desire. The beauty of imagination is that it is always available to you. No matter where you are or what you are facing, you can retreat into the infinite space of your imagination and begin to create a new vision for your life. By doing so, you activate the divine power within you, the same creative force that formed the universe. This is the power of imagination. It is the divine spark within you, constantly creating, constantly bringing forth new realities from the unseen into the seen. Imagination as the divine power. You unlock the ability to shape your world with intention and purpose. You are no longer a passive observer of life, but an active creator, working in harmony with the divine to bring forth the reality that is most aligned with your highest good. Through imagination, you step into your true power, the power to create, transform, and manifest the life you truly desire. The present moment is more than just a fleeting instance in time. It is the key to unlocking the fullness of life. To truly understand this is to realize that the present moment contains within it the seeds of everything you desire. When we speak of the present moment as fulfilled, we are not simply talking about experiencing life as it happens. We are referring to the profound truth that everything you could ever want, every outcome you seek, already exists in its entirety within the now. In the world of time, we are conditioned to think in terms of past, present, and future. We often see ourselves as moving from one point to another, from a place of lack to a place of fulfillment. However, this linear view of life keeps us trapped in a cycle of striving and waiting. We believe that happiness, success, or peace is something that lies ahead of us in the future. Yet the divine reality operates differently. In the eyes of God, there is no time, no past or future, only the eternal now. Everything that ever was or ever will be is contained within the present moment. This realization shifts the way we approach life. When we understand that the present moment is already fulfilled, we stop chasing after things, experiences, or outcomes. We recognize that what we desire already exists in the divine realm. It is not something we have to wait for or work toward, it is something we must simply align ourselves with. The future we hope for is already happening in a higher plane of reality, and it is our task to tune our consciousness to that truth. What does it mean to align ourselves with the present moment as fulfilled? It means to live with the understanding that the fullness of life is available to us right now. When we stop waiting for a future event or condition to bring us joy, peace, or fulfillment, we open ourselves to the possibility of experiencing those things immediately. This is the power of the present moment. When you fully inhabit it, you are in direct connection with the infinite, with the source of all creation. The mistake we often make is thinking that fulfillment is something external to us, something that comes from achieving goals or reaching certain milestones. But true fulfillment comes from within. It is not about what you have or what you do, but about your state of being. When you allow yourself to feel fulfilled in the present moment, you attract more of that fulfillment into your life. The external world begins to mirror your internal state. This is why it is said that the present moment is the only place where creation happens. By feeling fulfilled now, you bring into existence the conditions and circumstances that match that feeling. One of the most liberating aspects of living in the present moment as fulfilled is that it frees you from the burden of waiting. We spend so much of our lives in a state of anticipation, believing that something in the future will finally make us complete. But when you understand that everything you seek is already within you, right now you step out of the cycle of longing and into the experience of having. This shift in consciousness allows you to live from a place of peace and contentment, knowing that all is already well. It is important to note that this does not mean you stop desiring or aspiring. Desire is a natural part of life, and it is through desire that we grow and expand. However, when you see the present moment as fulfilled, your desires take on a different quality. Instead of coming from a place of lack or need, they arise from a state of wholeness. You no longer desire things because you feel incomplete, you desire them as expressions of the fullness you already feel within. In this way, your desires are not about filling a void, but about experiencing the richness of life in greater and more diverse ways. The present moment holds everything you need. It is the point of power, the place where all possibilities converge. When you learn to see the present as fulfilled, you stop chasing after life and start experiencing it in its fullness. You become a co-creator with the divine, manifesting your desires effortlessly because you are already living in the feeling of having them. This is the essence of true fulfillment, recognizing that the present moment, right here, right now, contains everything you could ever want and more. Doubt and fear are two of the most persistent barriers that stand between us and the life we desire. They are like shadows that creep into our minds, casting uncertainty over our goals and dreams, convincing us that what we seek is either too far out of reach or not meant for us at all. Yet the truth is that doubt and fear are illusions, mental constructs, that only have power when we give them our attention. Letting go of doubt and fear is one of the most liberating acts we can perform, allowing us to step into a life of clarity, confidence, and divine alignment. At their core, doubt and fear stem from a misunderstanding of who we are and the nature of the universe. We have been conditioned to believe that we are separate from the creative force that governs life, that we are at the mercy of external events or circumstances. This belief leads to fear, which in turn breeds doubt about our abilities, our worth, and the possibility of achieving what we truly want. But when we begin to understand that we are not separate from this creative force, that we are, in fact, one with it, fear and doubt start to lose their grip on us. One of the key principles to letting go of doubt and fear is recognizing that they are not real in the absolute sense. They are simply thoughts, mental projections of possible negative outcomes that have no actual existence outside of our minds. Fear is often described as false evidence appearing real, and this is an apt description. Fear convinces us that the worst-case scenario is not only possible, but probable. It creates a false reality where we imagine everything going wrong, leading us to hesitate, second-guess ourselves, and shrink from taking bold actions. Doubt, on the other hand, undermines our faith. It whispers, what if it doesn't work out? What if you're not good enough? What if you fail? But doubt is also a product of limited thinking. It comes from focusing on our human limitations, rather than recognizing the infinite power that resides within us. When we see ourselves as small, separate beings, we are more likely to doubt our ability to achieve great things. But when we understand that we are connected to an infinite source of wisdom, power, and love, we realize that there is nothing to fear, and no reason to doubt. Letting go of doubt and fear begins with a shift in perception. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, we must focus on what could go right. Instead of imagining failure, we must imagine success. Instead of doubting our capabilities, we must trust in the divine intelligence that flows through us. This shift requires practice, but it is incredibly powerful. The more we train our minds to focus on positive outcomes, the more we align ourselves with the energy of those outcomes. In doing so, we not only reduce doubt and fear, but we also start to attract the very circumstances that lead to success. Another important aspect of letting go of doubt and fear is learning to live in the present moment. Fear is always about the future. It is a projection of something that might happen. Doubt, too, lives in the realm of what if. But in the present moment, there is no room for fear or doubt. In the now, we are safe, whole, and capable. By bringing our attention back to the present, we weaken the hold that fear and doubt have on us. Meditation, mindfulness, and deep breathing are powerful tools for cultivating presence and stillness, helping us quiet the mind and return to a state of trust and peace. Letting go of doubt and fear requires faith in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the divine force that is always guiding us toward our highest good. Faith is the antidote to doubt. It reassures us that even if we cannot see the full path ahead, we are always supported and protected. Faith invites us to take inspired action, knowing that the universe is working in our favor. When we release doubt and fear, we open ourselves to a life of limitless possibility. We move from a place of hesitation to a place of flow, from resistance to receptivity. In letting go of the need to control or predict every outcome, we create space for miracles, allowing the divine to work through us in ways we could never have imagined. The freedom that comes from trusting in the process of life is unparalleled, and it is the key to manifesting the life we truly desire. From the end is a powerful concept that shifts the way we approach life and manifest our desires. It means aligning yourself with the feeling of already having achieved what you want, rather than waiting for external conditions to validate your dreams. When you live from the end, you mentally and emotionally inhabit the state of your fulfilled desire, and by doing so, you draw it into your reality. This approach is based on the understanding that reality is shaped from within, and that your inner state creates your outer world. Most of us live as though we are constantly moving toward a goal in the future, waiting for circumstances to change before we can feel satisfied, happy, or fulfilled. We tell ourselves, once I achieve this or that, then I'll feel content. However, this mindset keeps us trapped in a perpetual cycle of waiting, reinforcing the belief that we are separate from our desires. Living from the end requires a complete shift in thinking. It asks us to abandon the idea of time and distance between where we are now and where we want to be. Instead, it invites us to assume that what we want is already ours and to feel as though it is happening now. This shift in perception is not merely about positive thinking. It's about a deeper realization of how creation works. In the unseen realm, everything you desire already exists. The gap between your current reality and your ideal reality is not a matter of time or effort, it is a matter of consciousness. When you live from the end, you bring your consciousness into alignment with the version of yourself who already has what you want. This act of mentally and emotionally being in the state of fulfillment is what creates the conditions for your desire to manifest in the physical world. Living from the end requires you to feel the emotions associated with your fulfilled desire. How would you feel if you already had the job, relationship, financial abundance, or health that you want? Would you feel joy, peace, relief, excitement? The key is to cultivate those feelings now, even before the external evidence appears. When you do this, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that this is your reality, and the universe, in turn, responds by bringing circumstances into your life that reflect that inner state. Living from the end transforms how you approach daily life. Instead of reacting to circumstances with fear or frustration, you respond with the calm assurance that everything is working out in your favor. You begin to see life through the lens of already having what you desire, which alters your behavior, your decisions, and your energy. This shift often leads to inspired action, where you naturally do the things that bring you closer to your goal, not because you are striving, but because you are acting from a place of fulfillment. Living from the end is about becoming the version of yourself who already has what you want. It is about embodying that state of being, trusting in the process, and allowing the universe to bring forth the manifestation of your desire in perfect timing. When you live from the end, you realize that you are the creator of your reality, and that the power to shape your world lies within your consciousness. The idea that God is within you is one of the most profound truths we can grasp, and it has the power to transform how we view ourselves and our lives. Many people have been conditioned to see God as something external, an entity that exists outside of us, separate and distant. We often pray or seek guidance as though God is in some faraway place, waiting for us to be worthy of connection. But the truth is much deeper. God is not outside of us. God is within us, always present, always available, and always expressing through us. To recognize that God is within you is to understand that you are never separate from the divine. This realization immediately shifts your perception of life. Instead of seeing yourself as a limited, isolated being at the mercy of external forces, you begin to understand that you are an expression of the infinite. The creative power that formed the universe resides within you, and it works through you in every thought, word, and action. You are not just a small part of the divine plan, you are a direct manifestation of it. When you realize that God is within you, your perspective on challenges and difficulties changes dramatically. No longer do you feel powerless in the face of life's obstacles. Instead, you recognize that you have access to divine wisdom, strength, and guidance at all times. This inner connection means that you are never truly alone, no matter how isolated or overwhelmed you might feel. The divine presence within you is always there, ready to provide insight, comfort, and solutions. Understanding that God is within you also means realizing that you have the power to shape your reality. You are a co-creator with the divine, and your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are the tools through which creation happens. Every time you think a thought or imagine a scenario, you are using the divine power within you to bring that thought into form. This is why it is so important to cultivate a consciousness that is aligned with love, abundance, and peace. When you fill your mind with these qualities, you are drawing them into your life experience, because the divine power within you responds to the energy you project. This awareness of God's presence within you deepens your sense of self-worth. When you understand that the divine resides within you, you no longer need to seek validation or approval from the outside world. You realize that your worth comes from the fact that you are an expression of God. This sense of divine identity frees you from the need to conform to society's standards or measure yourself against others. You are inherently worthy, not because of what you do or achieve, but simply because of who you are, a unique and beautiful manifestation of the divine. Living with the awareness that God is within you also transforms your relationships with others. You begin to see the divine in everyone you encounter. This recognition fosters compassion, kindness, and understanding, because you realize that the same divine presence that lives within you also lives within them. Every person you meet becomes an opportunity to connect with the divine in a new way, and your relationships become richer, deeper, and more harmonious as a result. This inner divinity also leads to a profound sense of peace. When you know that God is within you, you stop searching outside yourself for fulfillment, love, or happiness. You realize that everything you need is already present within you, waiting to be expressed. This realization eliminates anxiety and fear, because you no longer feel the need to control or manipulate external circumstances in order to feel secure. The peace that comes from this inner knowing is unshakable, because it is rooted in the eternal truth of who you are. In embracing the truth that God is within you, you step into your true power. You begin to live not from a place of lack or limitation, but from a place of divine connection, creativity, and abundance. This awareness opens up new possibilities for growth, joy, and fulfillment, because you are no longer operating from the small self, but from the infinite source of love and wisdom that resides within. God is not something distant or unreachable. God is the very essence of your being, always present, always guiding, and always expressing through you. In conclusion, to leave everything in God's hands is to embrace faith, to trust the divine wisdom within you, and to recognize that the creative power of the universe is always working on your behalf. By living from a place of deep trust, releasing doubt and fear, and aligning with the fulfillment of the present moment, you tap into the infinite potential that lies within. God is not outside of you, but within, guiding and shaping your life through your imagination, your thoughts, and your beliefs. When you surrender control and trust in this divine presence, you open yourself to a life of peace, joy, and boundless possibility. Thank you for listening, and may you always remember the divine power that resides within you